What's going on, everybody? We have Gary Coxe from GaryCoxe.com coming all the way from Tampa, Florida. Gary, welcome to the Marketer's Mindset Podcast.
Good to be here, Chad. Good to see you, buddy.
Thanks, brother. Thank you. And Gary, tell the viewers, tell the audience, what is it that you actually do and how do you generate revenue?
Basically, it's two areas, if you will, maybe three. One is I'm a consultant and advisor for a number of billion-dollar companies. And then I also do reprogramming. I've been a regular for years on Dr. Phil shows for about 3 years in the past on one of his shows, The Doctors, where I take people who have major blocks psychologically and I show them how to break through it very, very fast. And then, as you know, I have the jet program where it's beyond first class, where people come with me in my jet. We fly down to the Bahamas. They have a full day to be coached by me, pick my brain, whatever. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. But anything to show people how to get to that next level, but try to do it quicker and without a bunch of bullcrap fluff, and you're going to see that.
And you're a little bit different than most the business that we interview. You're an actual physical brain. You're a lifestyle coach in a way. You essentially help people break out of their shells, allow them to go to the next level. Is it also personal and business? Are you a business coach and personal coach?
I believe many times the problems that we have in our business and our finances is a reflection of things that we have stuck in our emotional hard drive. So when somebody brings me on, my goal is to go in deep with them. So it's not just to fix a business problem. Many times the business problem is linked to a personal problem, maybe something that happened 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Wow. Okay, I love that. So who would you say is your ideal avatar or your ideal niche of the people that you go after? Talk to me. I know you work with large companies. I know you said some of the billion-dollar companies, but if you could take all of your clients, who's like the average person that you work with?
Well, I'd say the average person that comes with me on the jet for the one-day coaching is your established entrepreneur or CEO, or somebody that's getting started that has the cash flow ready to just make things happen. They have experience. They're not just, brand new, never done this before.
Yep. Got you. And then how about for the actual, for more of like that personalized coaching or, what's the word that you use for it? Because I like the word that you use at the beginning. It's not coaching particularly. You said you're
for me, my big thing is the transformation. I mean, it's
transformation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'm not trying to judge or knock other people, but I mean, I literally reprogram people from scratch. My story. My wife and I, we have a baby when I'm a teenager. I was making up $100,000 a year. And then later on, she tells me the baby's not mine. My grandfather and stepfather die of cancer. My uncle was killed in a plane crash. I get a phone call from my mom to let me know my father had just been shot point blank, drowned in his chest, his blood, he was shot in his chest. And all this by the time I was 21 years of age. So when you have problems like that, and everybody has problems, right? Everybody has tragedy, divorce problems, loss of a loved one, emotional, physical, sexual abuse. It could be any of these things. These things get stuck in our emotional hard drive. So when you've gone through stuff, the way that we react to failures and problems today stem from the crap that we've had happen to us 10, 20 years ago. So when I'm trying to move forward after all this and, maybe getting into another business, and I feel that, what I just tried in a strategy failed, well, if I'm not careful, all the failures and the pain of failures of the past now just blow up like a volcano. And I feel that in that one pain that I'm just experiencing today. And if I can't figure out how to get that junk out of my head, it makes it harder for me to be more proactive, because I know more proactiveness means more failures, because, you move forward, you're going to fall sometimes. Yep. And then you have this mindset that says, well, I want to do it, but I don't. That's why often we know what we want to do, but we can't get ourselves to do it.
Understood. And Gary, how many team members do you have right now on your team? And what's the breakdown of those people?
Right now we're, because all the stuff going down, we're very, slim, the 4 or 5 people.
Running lean, just like many entrepreneurs that are here on this show.
And I've learned that I'm doing that anyway, even more so, because, sometimes we get so busy being busy when we don't have to do 90% of this crap that we're doing. But we're divided into somebody in sales, then there's marketing, then there's I call it the IT department, but anything that has to be done with,
Techie guys,
you know,
the tech guys.
marketing, website going down, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, awesome. And the people that you work with, the people that you reprogram, all of these, your customers, right?
Yeah.
Is this like a continuous service that you're working with them on? Or is this like kind of like, hey, let's meet a couple of times and then you never see them again?
Yeah, I don't like to do the, come see me forever type of thing. If I do a good enough job, you don't have to. Now, if it's a business, that's a little different because I think, I personally I'm blessed, not to sound bragging or arrogant. I have a billionaire mentor, and I get to, I've been with him for years, right? So on stuff like that, yeah, definitely. If you have a psychological problem and you got to see somebody for years, then you need to go find somebody else to help you.
Yep. Now, Gary, you've built a brand. I know a lot of people know who you are. I see you all over Facebook and all over social media. How big would you say your audience is? I know you've been doing this for a while, right? So if you can tag on all of your email list, your social media followers, all of the people who know you from conferences, how many people do you actually think know the brand Gary Coxe?
Well, I'd hope to say it's in the millions. I mean, I got started in this years ago with TV. So I learned very early in my life that if I'm going to do one presentation, it makes sense to do it in front of TV one time when I hit 1 million people. It's just different. Now, TV is not as popular, but one good thing about still getting on TV, everything that's on TV goes on the internet. Not everything on the internet goes on TV. So I see the importance of doing both still.
Love it. And what's your pricing model look like? So let's say I come to you and I say, Gary, Chad from DashClicks, I'm coming to you one-on-one. I need to be reprogrammed. I got a lot of personal issues that I'm dealing with that's affecting my work life. I need somebody that can help me resolve these issues. What do you charge? What does your pricing model look like?
Well, it depends. On the Jet experience, where I don't typically do a lot of the transformational work because it's more information content and there's not a lot of time to do that. That's anywhere from $6,000 for the day, 10, 8, usually around 6. Average is usually around $6,000.
Those are small groups, right? Those are small groups.
Yeah, we limit that to only like 8 or 9 people on the Jet. That's it.
So let's say if it was more one-on-one, if it's like me, I have nobody else. I just personally need help. I don't want to be
one-on-one. Depends on the need. On the low end, maybe 3,500, and then on the high end, maybe 10. Usually, it's about 1 to 5 sessions, sometimes depending on what it is. I try to knock it out in one session with some follow-ups over the next couple months just to make sure everything is sitting well.
Got you. And do you have like a value ladder? And I know not to sound, because you're in a different style business than everybody else, but do you have a value ladder where people come in and maybe they buy like a small little course or something for like $15 and then go up your value ladder to more of the more personalized program?
Yeah, it's not as sequenced as it most people have, the normal, this is tripwire, then you got this wire and so on and so forth. I put enough content that when people see what I do, I think they see that, wow, this guy's definitely different. He's just not a bunch of chit chat and not repeating something he learned from somebody else, which is a bunch of bullcrap.
Not your standard old marketing guru.
No,
you've been doing this for a while.
I'm really against that. I hear people say stuff like, successful people don't watch TV. That's the biggest bunch of bullcrap I've ever heard. My billionaire mentor, what he watches all day long, he's got the news on because he's looking to see what's going on in the world. You see behind me, I have the news on all day, every day. So, things are different. So when they see that I'm a little different, not just fluff stuff, I get right to the point. I know how to read what's going on in people's psychology, what's going on in their head, and I'm blessed that I know how to fix it very fast.
Love it, man. Love it. And if you could take one thing in your business, out of all of these years that you've been doing it, what was that one needle mover that really took your business to the next level, the shift? And it could be things like, I got into TV, or I did this, or I did that. What was that one thing for you?
Well, the TV was huge. I mean, when TV was the big media thing, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like it. Everywhere I'd go, I'd be recognized. The phones would ring off the frigging hook like crazy. I think the next shift for us has been this Beyond First Class with the Jet. It's very unique. I mean, I fly the Jet personally, so
it's super cool. By the way, for those guys listening, I see you in your Jet every day, and I'm watching and I'm like, this guy. I remember, and I wanted, let's take a quick 30-second break. I want to talk about a quick story. I remember the first time I met you. I literally come to this private airport. This is a new thing for me, right? I'm not into plane life. I know nothing about that stuff.
Right.
I come to this private airport in Fort Lauderdale. You reach out to me, you're like, hey, I'm with Nick Santanastasso and a couple buddies of his, and we're flying down into Fort Lauderdale. I said, you know what? Why don't I bring you guys into the studio? Let's do a live video for the Marketer's Mindset group. I think it'd be really cool. We'll do a quick webinar for everybody. I go, Nick Santanastasso is jumping out of a jet. You're jumping out of a jet. There's two guys in the back. I'm there with the Lamborghini. I feel like I am in another world. Okay.
Right.
That was like a first class experience for me. And it was so cool to not only have you guys here in our office doing a live video, but I'm really glad that we were able to connect on that personal type of level.
Sure.
And now, you know, we've been in communication ever since. So that's how me and Gary met. For all of you guys watching, it was a crazy experience.
So, and I think that was a shift for me, because I believe in giving people incredible experiences. It's not about the jets, as you know. I'm not a very fancy guy. One thing I teach people is when you come with me on that program, there's a shift that goes on that people realize that they're not playing big enough. The most expensive thing that you'll pay for, if you know what you're doing, is time. So flying privately in a jet or a helicopter, and I fly that too, is time. So, I mean, stop and think. It takes you 2 hours. You got to be at the airport 2 hours before, and then you got to go through stuff for another hour, and then coming back. That's 6 hours. If I can go there and back in an hour or an hour and a half in a jet, I just shaved 6 hours off of my life. Yeah. So the goal then is to figure out in your life, you don't have to go with jet. You can start with Uber. Why not pay Uber to drive you around sometimes when you're normally driving, or put your kids in the back seat of an Uber so you can spend more quality time with them? But learn how to spend money to buy time. Time is your most valuable asset. Learn to buy time, and it's expensive if you do it right, but on the other end, you're going to make more out of it.
I love that. Gary, what does your sales process look like? So let's say I come to you once again and I'm ready to pull the trigger. Am I jumping on like a discovery call with you for you to kind of go through kind of my issues and things like that, and then say, hey, you know what? You are a good fit for me to work with. What does that process look like?
Okay. For most of the programs, like on the JET programs, we do JV partners. Like, you know, you may want to do it later on where you're going to bring your clients and so forth and so forth. But typically, no one, I don't meet with people personally, because it's just, there's not enough time in the day, and I value my time. I have so many other things going on. So the process is, you go through somebody on my team. They have enough experience to spend time with you and figure out, and there's a fee for that. It's like $50 because we just want people who are serious, right? So they will chit chat with you, find out what you want, what your goals are, and then we'll determine if you like us and we like you. And I do turn people down. You know, I had one lady that she wasn't willing to pay the $50. If you're not willing to pay the $50, and I'm going to give you something in return for the $50, if you don't want to do anything with me, it's not going to work. So that's the best process I find. I have trained people that will do the pre-qualifying to find out if we're a great fit. If we're a great fit, and I think we are, then they'll bring me on with that person. Then I'll take it to the next level to determine if that fit is good for both parties.
And what do you do? Because obviously, I'm sure, you know, you guys, you probably get a bunch of leads that are coming in, right? What do you do with all of the leads that don't close maybe, or that, you know, a lot of people are like, you know what, let me think about it. Let me speak to my wife. Let me speak to my husband. Let me gather some cash. Let me think about it, see if it's a good fit. What do you do with all those guys? Is there like a sales guy in your office that does follow-ups? Like, how does the whole thing work? How does a follow-up process?
Yeah, I'm big into follow-up. I mean, in fact, one of my books is You Can't Fillet a Nibble. It's the catch that counts. So, okay. You know, having a nibble is not enough. It's the catch that counts. So you need 5 to 12 touches throughout the process. So it depends. If we truly feel that they're a candidate, meaning financially they can afford the services, we'll do some follow-up with them. Anybody who's not, we don't want to just drop them. So if we get their blessing to put them on our email list, or if they're already on that, well, then I send out a ton of free content. So hopefully they'll get something in the free content that can benefit their life, whether it be for
value.
You know?
Yeah. Yep. Giving valuable content. And you know what? And that happens a lot in the marketing industry and just in business in general. I think people expect consumers to just go in and buy into them. You know, research study shows that about, I think it's like 7 touch points sometimes in order for a consumer to actually make a buying decision. Right. So think about it. You got to speak to somebody, then you got to send them an email. And obviously this is different for every business. Right. But people misunderstand the word follow-up. They think that they're going to jump on a call, and if they buy, they buy. If they don't, hey, I'm on to the next one, right? They have no nurturing process or no nurture sequence. It sounds like you do. You're dropping them on an email sequence.
And the thing is, trust, like, know, right? They've got to trust you, know you, like you. And there's ways to speed that up. When I do TV, there's an automatic credibility factor. I have people calling from all over the world that see me on YouTube from a TV show. That instantly builds credibility factor. So in most cases, I've shaved off a lot of the trust factor right away. I've shaved off the know factor. Now we got to figure out if that we like each other, and then can you solve my problem? So that's where a lot of people miss. They've got to realize that I'm here to solve your problem. But if I can figure out, like, if I've got a bottle of water here, and if I said to you, Chad, you got $1,000 in your pocket, give me $1,000 for this bottle of water, you'd probably look at me and think I'm a little crazy, right? But if I can change your value very quickly to make that water more important than $1,000, you'll give me the $1,000. So here's the bottle of water, same $1,000 in your pocket, but this time I tell you that your head is on fire. You'll probably give me the $1,000. So if you could figure out how to make that switch when you communicate to a person, cost is a concern in the absence of value. So you create the value, and people think value is give them more. It's not that. It is not telling them how great your product is. It's getting in their head to figure out what it is in their head that causes a shift that they go, wait a minute, this is more important right now than not giving you the money. So this is more important. I got to give you the money.
Hey, look, so we have entrepreneurs from all over the world that listen and come really try to find out how businesses work. Gary, in the last 12 months, how much revenue has your brand generated you?
It's changed. It's dramatically changed. We've made a shift due to the COVID. So what we've done, we have decided, instead of trying to create more stuff or new things, I mean, I've got some other investments that I'm doing very well with outside of this business. So what we've decided to do is, this is not going to be forever. We know that. So we've got our team, and all they're doing is filling up our pipeline, because no one's traveling right now to the Bahamas at Sandals Resorts, our sponsor, where we do our mastermind, right? So we decided, okay, why don't we find the top coaches? Those are the people or clients who are going to get through this, and the others are just going to fall between the cracks because there's no substance to them. And then, end of the year, first quarter or Q1, whatever, we'll have our pipeline filled, and we already have people ready to go. So we've decided to take that course.
I love it. I love it. And where do you see yourself in, let's say, 12 months from today? Let's say this, we're hoping that this COVID thing ends, right? This has literally destroyed lives. It's destroyed businesses. It's affected many small to medium-sized businesses throughout all over the world. It's affected people's personal lives. Once this COVID thing is done, where do you see yourself in the next 12 months? Do you see yourself continuing to grow the brand, grow the business, fly the jets more, grow the team? Where do you see yourself in the next 12 months?
Yeah, I don't, as it sounds crazy, I don't care to grow my team that much more. I may double it, but I will do more of the beyond first class trips with the jet. And I'm okay with that. I mean, I do high-end speaking for large companies, like I said, my billion-dollar clients and so on. But I'm fine with that. And what COVID has done for me, and I started this a year before, just nearly exactly a year before COVID. I said to myself, I'm just being busy, even though a lot of my busy is revenue generating. But I just don't want to live that way anymore. And I want to enjoy life more. So I've just massively shifted. And what's great is COVID has forced me to do it even more. And because of that, my goal is to kind of stay on this course. It's hard for me because I'm very driven, very entrepreneur, you know me, right? So, but yeah, I'm trying to throttle back just a little bit, but stick with what I love the most so I can enjoy more of what I'm doing. Yes, I want to help people and so forth, but I'm going to be a little selfish too. I have to enjoy it.
So I got a last couple questions for you. If you can give one tip to any new business owner that will save years of their time, what would it be? What's the number one tip that you can give to brand new entrepreneurs in the space?
Get somebody that you can work with that knows their crap.
I love
whether
that.
You have to pay them, whether it's a friend, whether it's a consultant, but make sure you get somebody that knows their crap so you can, bounce off of. If you don't have a team, whether it be a mentor and then a team of people, you're going to screw up. And I think where most people screw up in business is, especially when they're getting started or they're small, they end up hiring family. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But the problem is, my take is I'll hire family, but they understand that I will fire them. Just
Yep.
because they're family doesn't, because this is a business, you know? And so I would never usually hire anybody in family for sales, because if they don't make their numbers, they got to go, you know? And so those are things that you have to think about. And I think most people in general are overly concerned about what other people think. What'd you do? You fired your brother, or you fired your third cousin, or yeah, well, I can't do that because, you know, now they're going to talk bad about you. There's so much you can accomplish when you are truly not concerned about what other people think. And if most people would shut up for a little bit and ask themselves, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much am I really concerned about what other people think? If you're being honest, it's probably higher than you'd want to admit. And if you can learn to master that better, you could really go way, way further. And that's one thing. I've had the opportunity of meeting probably 7 billionaires: Ted Turner, Sam Walton, who started Walmart, a number of billionaires. And one thing they can do is they make decisions very quickly. And one of the reasons they can do that is because they're not overly concerned about what's going to happen after they make the decision.
Yep. Hey, Gary, one last final question before we wrap it up. What is your favorite software tool that you use right now in your business?
Well, I was going to give you an answer, then you said business. Right now, I've got an app called Notability, which is phenomenal. I'm using it for I'm adding on another helicopter instructing rating. So I'm able to put notes in there, and it's
I love it. So it's like a notepad for your iPad.
It's for my iPad. Yeah, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
Great.
So I've got friends.
Well, hey, you guys heard it. Well, you guys heard it here on the Marketer's Mindset podcast. Gary Coxe from GaryCoxe.com, all the way from Tampa, Florida. Gary, thank you so much for joining us on this podcast, and we will talk to you here in the near future. Thanks.
Chad, hear it up, buddy. Keep it up.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.